All right, StockTwits Nation, I'm Katy Perry. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting frontiers in clean mobility, solar for commercial vehicles. Joining me right now is George O'Leary, Managing Director and CEO of Sono Group, a company that's leading the charge with solar technology, transforming trucks, buses, trailers, and turning all these into rolling power plants. George, welcome. I have so many questions for you, but it's great to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me today, Katie. I really appreciate it.
So George, solar for commercial vehicles, I think, those of us who follow the public markets, we're familiar with the Teslas and the typical EV models.
Mhm.
Can you help us quickly break down where solar fits and why is now a time that solar is sort of gaining traction within Sono, but also in the markets overall?
Great question. So the way I like to look at it or speak about it is solar bridges the gap between the EV market of tomorrow, the current vehicles of today and the EV market of tomorrow. While the charging stations catch up to the demand of EV, we can provide interim solution immediately. And that's really where solar fits in. Now, in the future, 20 years from now, when the charging stations do catch up, we'll have better options for EV commercial vehicles as well. But for now, the current vehicles, commercial vehicles of today, we provide an immediate solution of reducing costs, reducing fuel costs, reducing emissions, and also improving the carbon footprint going forward. Because obviously there's requests and demands in different markets for doing that, and especially the EV, the emissions reductions. And we're able to do that right away.
Super helpful context. And talk to me a little bit about Sono, where the business is at right now, where you guys are focused, and how you plan to kind of capture this growing market opportunity that you see ahead of you.
Yep, perfect. We are really focusing on the OEM market, and we just recently did a partnership with Merlin Solar Technologies, where now we're focusing on Europe and also North America, where we could provide global um, opportunities for the OEM market. And what's nice about dealing with the OEM market and getting right on the production lines is they can introduce us to their fleet operators. And so we have basically the OEM market providing sales and direction for us with the companies that are buying their vehicles, other commercial vehicles. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 for us. And we have 5 very large OEMs we're currently working with, but we have about 25 altogether OEMs that we're working with, but 5 super large ones.
Great. And tell me a little bit. So, for people who are not as in the weeds, that's OEMs is original equipment manufacturers.
Yes.
And how are you leveraging sort of the existing infrastructure of those? You talk about being able to plug in and accelerate. What does that mean exactly when you're working with these OEMs? How does that benefit your business,
Yes.
either from sales or operating costs or both?
Great question. So we started last year focusing on the OEM market. The OEM market takes some time. So companies like Thermo King, Mercedes-Benz, MAN, very large companies like that. So really our focus is getting on their production line as an option for brand new vehicles. So that really provides us with a much larger opportunity than just aftermarket. But what's nice about it too is they also focus on their fleet operator customers and clients and introduce us to them for doing like current commercial vehicle full integrations. One of the things we became certified in late 2024 to be the only company in Germany that was certified by the federal government for us to actually do full integrations on a commercial vehicle without having to get every individual vehicle approved. So we could actually do an integration on an entire fleet, which obviously saves a lot of time for our fleet operators that we're working with.
Yeah, and could you at a high level, what goes into sort of that certification process? It sounds like you guys are the first, but what hoops do you have to get through in order to get that stamp of approval?
Well, I will tell you, when I started full time in April of last year, The government was in our operations for about 3 days, going through our entire installation system and how it works. And it took almost 9 months for the certification and follow-up questions and things like that. So it was a very in-depth qualification. And so we're very, excuse me, we're very excited about being the only one in Germany to get that certification. And it really speaks to our know-how and our expertise in technology when it comes to solar mobility.
Yeah, and that certification, am I correct in assuming that allows you to sort of go to market with less friction? You can be quicker because there's sort of a one single sign off versus the individual vehicle or fleet.
Absolutely. So fleet operator clients of the OEMs could actually bring in an entire fleet for us to do the full integration, where we don't need every single commercial vehicle approved. So it does speed up the process fairly substantially, and it's definitely a competitive advantage of ours.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Merlin and the partnership with Merlin Solar Technologies. I definitely want to go back to that. I was
Sure,
reading up on them. It looks like they manufacture solar panels.
they do.
And I want to understand how you work with them and how does this partnership position you guys for expanding globally?
So Merlin, I call it, I like to say it's the best of class for both product offerings. So they offer the solar panels, we offer what we call our controller. And we have proprietary um, product offering for our controller. It's very efficient. Instead of having one, what they call channels, for 16 solar panels, like on a bus kit, for 16 solar panels, we actually have 8 channels, or I like to call zones, so that we're getting the maximum efficiency of the sunlight coming in on the vehicle. So, and that's our proprietary controller. So the way we're looking at, as I mentioned, kind of best of class for both companies. And so instead of, so our focus was in Europe, their focus was in North America. They have some low hanging fruit in Europe. So now we're going to partner together, co-marketing our products and our product offering. Them in North America, they're offering it through their name, and in Europe, we're offering it through our name, but with the combined product offering, best of class product offering.
Got
So
it.
we think it's fantastic. And it really opens up the door for, instead of doing just one OEM in one location, we could actually market a global offering to the large OEMs.
And what about them made them an attractive partner for you guys? Was it their regional footprint in the U.S. and North America, or what were some of the factors you considered when you were looking to team up?
Well, one of my focuses for the end of 2024 and early 2025 was to get a partnership like this, where we won't have to incur operating cost and sales cost in North America, but we wanted to expand to North America. And we were running into them as with some of our OEMs, where they were selling solar panels to our OEMs, and we were selling the whole product offering, including solar panels. So we got to know each other through that, and we decided that it would make sense for us to do a combined offering so we could offer it to, like I said, the global OEM market rather than just individual locations for the OEMs.
Yeah,
So that's
would you?
how the partnership started or came to
Yeah.
be. And then me and the CEO of Merlin negotiated a co-marketing agreement, and we're very excited about what that means for us globally, what we can do together.
Cool. And then two questions. One, I assume that's like an exclusive agreement.
It is, and
Yeah.
So we're offering. So we have most favored nations for pricing, for us, for them, and them for us. So and one of the things we really loved about them and they love about us is when I say best of class, their solar panels are unbelievable, like far better than anyone we've worked with before in China or anywhere else. And our product offering with our proprietary controller, it really is superior to any, and it really is a huge competitive advantage. We also have 9 granted patents and over 30 pending patents that provide us protection with what our proprietary offering is.
When you say they have better panels, I'm curious, someone outside of the industry, what makes a better solar panel? It just holds the charge longer, or what about it is ideal for you all?
So for mobility, right? Because Merlin also does buildings and things like that. Um, But for mobility, what's most important is the lightweight nature of the panel. So it's not glass, because glass would be too heavy, and the strength of the panel. Because obviously, if you're doing it lightweight, it also has to be very durable. And when I say Merlin solar panels are extremely durable, like they have a lot of amazing testing that shows how powerful and durable their solar panels are. And that really is a huge advantage for us as we're doing a complete installation for our complete offering. Having those types of solar panels is very important for us as well.
Got it. And you spoke about competitive advantage in both kind of the co-marketing partnerships you have, as well as the head start on certain licenses in key markets. How else would you describe the moat for investors who are interested in solar or even solar within mobility specifically? Why do you think Sono is positioned to win?
So, a few things. We spent a year really building the relationships with our OEM market. And so now it's coming to fruition. So that's number one. Number two, our know-how and engineering expertise is far greater than any. And as you know, German technology and engineering is quite advanced. So that's a huge competitive advantage that we have. We also have the patents, and we also have our data analytics, where we provide both the OEMs and their fleet operator clients the ability to track the emissions reductions, their carbon footprint reductions, and things like that as well, both for their entire fleet and for their entire company as well. So those are the things that are very, very large competitive advantages that we offer, that our competitors don't.
Got it. And I heard you guys are anticipating a NASDAQ uplisting. You're currently OTC. I know those things take time, and there's a lot of, it's hard to say exactly when it's going to happen. But should it happen, what is the anticipated impact you think on your company and how you engage with investors?
Well, a few things. One, we're very close, obviously subject to NASDAQ giving final approval, but we've been working with them very closely for the last 4 months to get there. I'm optimistic, but I believe it's going to be fairly shortly, fairly soon. That said, for investors, what it means is more transparency, more visibility, more ability to buy and sell stock, right? Because OTC market, it's a good market, but it's not a great market for the ability to buy and sell. Once we get to NASDAQ, that really changes things, and also provides opportunity for institutional investors to invest in our company on the open market versus just high net worth individuals. So just from that alone will drive the volume fairly substantially.
Got it. So it sounds like you have, exciting things going on, potentially exciting things on the horizon with a potential uplisting. And I can't believe we're already almost halfway through the year. That's crazy to think about.
It really
Looking
is.
into the back half of the year,
Uh-huh.
what are you looking forward to? What's kind of the big picture vision for you and Sono Group right now? Where are you sort of laser focused?
So again, the OEM market with buses, trucks, refrigeration trailers, which is a big market for us right now, and with our partnership with Merlin, RVs as well, which is one of the largest solar markets in the world. And so it creates an opportunity with us with Merlin to create that, and really helping them really clean energy, reducing operating costs, and reducing emissions, which is, they have mandates to do that right now. And like I said, the EV market, it's going to take a long while for the charging stations to catch up to the EV demand. And what we provide is an immediate solution. It's an interim solution, or a part solution. It's not a full solution like the EV market is, but it does provide solution for today, rather than waiting 20 years for the charging stations to catch up to the EV demand.
Yeah, the RV example is a good one to call out because it does underscore the infrastructure limitations. If you're going camping, there's probably not going to be a charging station in the middle of a national park.
And it really does. When you talk about being off grid, solar is ideal for that. And when you think about, especially the what I would call the high end RV market, someone's spending anywhere from a $500,000 to 1.5 million on an RV, an extra 15 to 20,000 for a solar installation solution really helps. And on an off-grid perspective, they get to charge all of their ancillary refrigerator and stove and all of that through solar versus having to burn up their battery.
Yeah, and one more question for you. We were just chatting about how I'm in New York, it's getting warmer. You're down in Florida. Are there any applications for boating yet, or is that in consideration for you guys?
Well, great question. So one thing I'll mention is with our co-marketing relationship we did with Merlin, they're in the boating world already. So to open up the opportunity for us, our focus is in commercial vehicles today, but it is opening up for boating. But now that we have that partnership with a co-marketing partnership with solar panels, we're now focusing on a partnership also with a battery operator. So right now we have an end-to-end solution, but we don't provide batteries. And most of our clients, at least some of our OEMs, they have their own battery that they prefer. And our installation covers any type of their batteries, not a problem. But some of the OEMs and some of the fleet operators are looking for a battery solution. So one of the things I'm working on now is getting a battery company as part of another partnership that we can offer as kind of a three-way partnership instead of a two-way partnership, so we could actually have a full end-to-end solution for solar mobility.
All right, there you have it. Sono Group coming potentially to NASDAQ, potentially to a pontoon near you soon. George O'Leary, Managing Director, CEO, thank you so much for stopping by.
My pleasure, and it's great to see you, Katie, and look forward to continuing these conversations as we go.